What's going on, everybody? Welcome to THS Wrestling. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Two Twitches in paradise, I believe, is what we are live on. Oh my God, the Dudleys are here. My God. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We got a lot to talk about today. But before we get to that, I am joined by, my name is John, and I'm joined by Neeson and Jimmy. Guys, what's going on?
Man, life is a breeze. It is 80-something degrees, and I'm sipping my Zoa, so you know I'm ready for Samoa.
Oh, my goodness. Jimmy?
I think you smell what Neeson's cooking with the Zoa.
Yeah.
A lot of rants, guys. A lot of rants.
It was a long, short week, but yeah.
It was, absolutely. Neeson and I got a couple of games of Cold War in today. It was a lot of fun.
Follow us on Twitch, guys. Follow us on Twitch, guys.
Absolutely follow us on Twitch. Thomas, Thomas, where have you been? Where have you been? Welcome back. Ken, what's going on? Kimberly, what is going on? We got a lot to talk about, but before we get to that, we gotta do the plugs, y'all. Gotta do the plugs. DeathWishCoffee.com. Use the promo code #show at checkout. Get yourself the strongest coffee in the world. I'm drinking the Valhalla Java right now. It's very good. It's good stuff.
It is.
So, I mean, go check it out.
I can tell you from personal experience that the whole office was cracked up on Death Wish coffee this past week. So when you say it's been a long, short week, it's definitely been a long, short week.
I hear that. Well, Thomas, I'm glad you've been busy. That's cool. You got to keep busy. What is going on? She be chasing me. There you go.
Chasing. That's his name. Chasing.
Love it. There. Yeah, cool. I get it.
It's a cool name.
All right, guys, let's get into it. We're going to talk about AEW to start things off, and we're going to talk about the AEW Women's division. And I think this might be a mostly positive conversation somehow. I don't know. I don't get it, but here we are. I'm happy about it. We had a scorching promo from Britt Baker on Wednesday. Oh my goodness. I'm going to drink more of this coffee. Maybe Thursday. Who knows what day it was? I'm not sure. She basically said she became a hardcore legend in one night, and it took Mick Foley 30 years to become one. And the DMD comes before the AEW. And this was great. I don't even think did she mention Thunder Rosa's name once in the entire promo?
No, and that was the point.
No, she did not.
Thunder Rosa was even like, oh, I must have missed this Britt Baker versus Britt Baker match because apparently I wasn't involved, which was, fake heat towards it. But
yeah,
I also love the nonchalant reference to the flannel that Britt was wearing when she mentioned Mick. So there's like multi-layered and phenomenal promo.
Just got a mention on that on the chat as well. Great promo, and we also had Ty Conti getting a clean win over former AEW Women's World Champion Nyla Rose. This was
clean.
No help from anybody. No shenanigans. So that win puts Conti as she's the number one ranked woman in AEW behind Hikaru Shida, which is like, oh my God, someone new. This is great. And then after the match, you saw the picture of the bunny with the kendo stick. And she's obviously a part of Matt Hardy's little family now. And he said that tournament didn't mean anything because the bunny wasn't in it. And it's like, finally, because Allie, a.k.a. the bunny, is a great wrestler, and we barely get to see that. So we got a great Britt Baker promo. Ty Conti, number one contender, beats a former women's world champion. And we got the bunny out there as well being like, hey, what about me? What about Raven? I mean, the bunny. I don't know what about you guys, but I feel reinvigorated after seeing this. I mean, it's a start. Let's go with it's a start. Does everyone else feel the same way, or is it just like, it's just going to be same old next week?
No, it is a start. And this is something that I've been screaming about from the top of the mountaintops since AEW finally started to unfold and they felt like they left their women's division behind because they wanted to concentrate on the Japan wrestlers. When I'm like, you have talent here to connect to your audience here that could make those Japan wrestlers feel bigger. Britt Baker, I've been screaming, you've been screaming, everybody that's been on the show has been screaming, is a star. And Ty Conti, I mean, I was a fan of hers at NXT, but when she came out with the gi and had the whole gimmick, but she's really, really developed into her own. And it was one of those things, all you needed was the time to develop. And now she's had that time. And her being, I'm surprised that she's actually the number one because I feel like, why isn't Britt Baker the number one person? But that's an inner hero there. We're now looking at, now there is competition, and not only that, you're able to connect to these characters. I think Ty Conti has a little bit more to develop on the character side, but goddamn, she's putting on some great matches. I watched her on Dark as well. I watched Dark one time. I watched like 7 episodes of Dark in a row, and I was like, oh, this is actually a pretty good show. I wish it was on TV. I'll probably watch it more. I just say the women's division, they have one now. It is stacked now. And let's see if they can capitalize on it. And next week, we're not looking like, well, there goes that.
Well, I mean, coming up this week, we have Ty Conti and Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose and the Bunny. Jimmy, I guess same question to you. How are you feeling about the women's division after these couple of cool things we got last week?
I mean, I feel like this is a start, but my biggest issue is once we get through this thing with the Bunny, are we just going to go the same way like that feud with Abaddon went, where Shida was like scared of her like for 2 weeks, and then they had their match, and then there was like nothing. Like, I don't want this to turn into that, especially with someone like the Bunny, who,
yes,
as you mentioned, like she's really good, and like if you watched her on Impact, TNA, whatever, like you know that, but you haven't been able to see that here in AEW mainly because of the pandemic. But then even like post or like once the pandemic started, like they didn't do anything with her. They decided to keep doing stuff more with Butcher and Blade, so they ended up doing the Eddie Kingston thing, and now we have the Hardy Office thing, whatever you want to call them. But like, I hope this is the start of something and it continues as opposed to being another start and stop with the women's division.
Yeah, and I mean, Ken in the chat has a pretty good point about how's Baker number 5 if we're now paying attention to the rankings. It's just weird. I get it. Like the rankings, I'm like, she's ranked number 1, but also like, how does that make sense? Like, I'm sure there might be some rhyme or reason to it, but I don't know. I don't know.
There's not.
But I am excited to see, some new faces. We've got some people that have been there for a little while. Also, I think Ty Conti has the character. I think she has that personality to break out that way. And I was also a big fan of hers at NXT, and I was really excited when AEW picked her up because she has shown improvement, like vast improvements.
Should I say that the interview is coming with her soon?
Yeah, you might as well.
Said it now. That's fine.
There you go.
Also, Jimmy, one question. Is your shirt have a watermark on it?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, it's a whole design. It looks like
yeah.
I was like, from here, it looks like the screen is like watermarked, and I was like, God damn, that's dope. Like you're like have your own little watermark. That was dope. Okay, well,
I'm proprietary information.
He didn't legally obtain that shirt, so the watermark's still on it.
This is the screener I was sent. It was just a shirt.
Oh god.
Every 5 minutes that I wear the shirt, like another watermark pops up. So.
Oh geez, wow.
That's an industry joke for people who didn't understand.
I was gonna say, or if you're a Disney Plus screener, your name just stays on right in the middle of the whole thing, just right there,
just hanging out. I didn't have this in our original notes, but I think it is of note that this coming week, Christian Cage is going to make his AEW debut against Frankie Kazarian. They had a banger of a match in Impact. I believe it was a cage match, like way back when. My question to you guys is: should we have waited for a pay-per-view, or are you fine with it just being like on Dynamite against Frankie Kazarian?
No, don't wait for a pay-per-view. AEW's pay-per-views are like once every 3 months, if that. So you don't wait for a pay-per-view, and you don't know what you got within Christian, right? Like the only match he's had is Rumble, and he's been training. So you don't know what you have. This is a perfect time to test the waters. You don't want him to have a shitter of a match when people are paying $60 for a pay, or so they could get on internet screaming right after the pay-per-view that they paid this much money and didn't illegally stream it. So I say no. I'm glad he's having this match. I know it's with somebody that he trusts to put on a banger match before. But
Jimmy.
Yeah, there was no point in waiting, because if you're just gonna dangle that carrot in front of everyone, by the time we get to the pay-per-view, which is going to be a while, everyone's seen Christian wrestle, so seeing him wrestle in AEW is not going to be too much different. So why even wait? So, and especially with an opponent like Kazarian, the only other person I probably would have had him face was Daniels. So this is pretty much around the same ballpark.
I think that shows trust, and I think Kazarian can still go, and we'll see if Christian can still go. Neeson, I saw you react to a comment. Would you care to?
Guys, I would love for Fire and Flavor to do anything with AEW or W, whatever the case may be. I really, really like them as a tag team, and the main reason I like them is because they know how to talk. Like, they talk through the whole match, and I love it. I really want to see Fire and Flavor do something bigger. The
funny thing is that's actually a tag team on two separate sides now, because Fire and Diamante are also a tag team.
Yes.
Wow. So it's just funny to see two different people on separate sides.
Very true.
So I mentioned we have a group chat, and before AEW went on the air, Cody Rhodes tweeted out, "We have a big announcement tonight," and I went, "Oh man, okay." That was my face, basically. And no, the big announcement wasn't that Cody Rhodes is going to face his best friend and the true ace of AEW, QT Marshall, next week.
Oh, is that why he does the Ace Crusher?
Yes, because he's perfect.
That
the big announcement is that we are getting a reality show featuring Brandy and Cody Rhodes called Rhodes to the Top. They showed a little trailer to it. Looks like a reality show. Now here's my question to you guys. Do you think this is a good idea? And two-part question: will you watch the show?
Jimmy.
Well, my initial reaction to when I saw this announcement was, but then I think to myself, well, you know what, Ms. and Mrs. gets people gets people interested in wrestling. The same way Total Divas did. Like, I know people who don't know anything about wrestling, but they know about certain wrestlers and certain angles because of Total Divas.
Yes.
So, as ridiculous of a concept as this is, it's a genius move, because then you get reality TV and people who don't know anything about wrestling. Here's another reality TV show. I'm going to watch this. Oh, what's AEW? Who are Cody and Brandy? But now I'm invested in this, and now I'm going to start watching AEW, and that's where we are.
Neeson?
Well, what I've been screaming again, also from the mountaintop since AEW started, that this is all entertainment wrestling, and they try to do this dance that they're alternative from WWE. They're not going to be the entertainment in this, but they continually go down this path. And why do they go down it? Because they know it's the smart way to do it. Just like Jimmy said, I know people personally that watch Total Divas, Total Bellas, and Ms. and Mrs., and do not watch wrestling or started to watch wrestling because of that. WWE specifically, specifically, yes. Interwork storylines into those reality shows to have it to where it linked back and forth, so where people could understand the world of wrestling and the world of reality television. If you are a fan of reality television, it's going to be right up there with Mrs. Mrs. It's going to be right up there with Housewives of whatever. But when I watch it, I'll probably give it the first episode, but Cody already rubs me the wrong way. I just feel like he's always playing wrestler and not really a wrestler. And so I don't want to see him when every newsflash, guys, don't want to spoil it for anybody. Everything on reality shows, fake. Storyline, fake. So I don't want to
don't expose the business I work in, sir.
I'm sorry. I've been associate producer of reality shows, and it's trash now. It's hard for me to watch it now, like knowing how fake it is. Right?
I mean, do you think there's any coincidence that Kardashians and kayfabe both start with a K?
My God.
Oh, Mike, you have blown the doors wide open, sir.
God.
Will we get a new Kardashian, their new show that's on Hulu crossover with a Rhodes on top? Will we get that? Will we get a crossover episode?
Ugh.
It can happen, guys. It can happen. But will I watch it? Absolutely not. Will not watch it.
I will watch the first episode and we'll see what happens. But also, yes, I am. Yeah. I mean, Ken with the truth in the chat. Once again, like you said, I'm already on the fence about how I feel about Cody as a character. I don't need to see behind the scenes and be like, oh, so he really is that dude.
But see, he won't be. That's the thing. I don't feel like it will be behind the scenes of that character. You see what I'm saying? Like that'll be the issue for me.
So you think it'll be like the time Colt Cabana tried to he did like a Art of Wrestling with the Miz, and the Miz was like, "Yeah, I'm the Miz," and he was like, "Come on, man, can you turn off the character for a minute here?" And then they had a normal talk after that.
It'll be exactly that. It's if you ever watch Miz and Mrs. with Dolph Ziggler on it. If you ever watch any reality show, so either Total Bellas, Total Divas, or Miz and Mrs. with Dolph Ziggler on it, Dolph Ziggler is always like, hey, yeah, like he's always like the hype crazy guy that wants to do the crazy thing. I feel like that's gonna be who Cody Rhodes is, and then you're gonna have the characters around him. You're gonna have DDP on the show. He goes to him for advice. You're gonna have QT Marshall, which is like his right hand man on the show, and they're gonna have beef, and then it's gonna lead into a match. It's gonna be so typical, man. I don't feel like I watch it. I just watch clips of it from AEW because they're gonna show it last time on Rose to the Top.
Woof.
Like we already know that this show is about Cody and Brandy Rhodes. This isn't about Cody and Brandy Runnels. So we know we're not going to see the actual behind the scenes, them and their family life, whatever. No, this is just an extension of those characters.
The only thing I really want is I need an episode where Cody is talking about getting the neck tattoo. I need an episode. That's two parts. They can get 2 parts out of that.
He wanted a tattoo, and then the second one is him wearing the scarf around his neck to make sure that no one saw the tattoo, but everyone saw that tattoo.
He wanted to shake things up, man. He didn't want to be the squeaky clean person anymore, man.
Whatever.
I mean, I really hope that people pull this off at the next PWG show, where there was an ongoing running gag, but people were half serious and not serious, that everyone in the front row buy the Cody Rhodes temporary tattoo, and we all show up at the first PWG show back, and we just all have the tattoo on our neck.
Please do that.
If that happens, and if I can get tickets to the front row, I am there and I'm doing it.
I've yet to give up my front row ticket, so I'm like, if I'm there and people are doing it, I've got to spend $15 on this goddamn tattoo.
Man, we're pretty close to that. I feel
we're getting there.
We're getting there. Oh my
God. At least LA is. I mean, we'll see.
Oh man, sorry guys. I went to a faraway place where I was sitting in a PWG crowd watching Bola this year.
But how about we just
bring it
can't
back
wait
here.
till we'll be calling a GCW show. Maybe that by the
That
summer.
too. Hey, we got a lot of stuff going on. Pretty
That
sure.
may happen. ...
Pretty sure Cody spent $15 on his. Come here, my tattoo artist. Yeah. He just comes into the room and puts his neck out.
Yes,
All right.
yes, y'all. Cody Rhodes, y'all.
Oh my God. Let's move on to WWE news. It's official, guys. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns versus Edge. It's a happening. Triple threat. Edge does not seem very happy about it. I can't imagine why. There's Adam Pearce going like, well, guys, it's a triple threat now.
Hey guys,
my bad. Look at Roman's shoes. My God.
Okay. He has on mids.
Trading off now.
He has on mids. Okay, it looks like Roman has on mids, guys, and mids are not acceptable. Not for the chief, the head of the table, the tribal chief.
They got to be high.
You need to be highs or lows. We don't do mids. Mids are no go. Okay, guys, just know that no mids. But it looks like he has on mids, so it's not.
Okay,
it's
I'm
not
taking notes. No
mids. No
I
mids.
like mids.
No. Mids are not acceptable.
I think I might have had mids at one point. I'll send you the shoes I had, and you can tell me if they were mids. I don't know anything. So how are we feeling about this? Do we think this is this tells a better story now that we've added Daniel Bryan in, because we have the comeback story and Daniel Bryan saying this might be my last one. The comeback story and Edge. This might be my last one as Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns being like, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of both of y'all. How do you feel about this? We knew this was coming for the most part. Now that it's official, how are you feeling?
I don't feel any different because we saw this coming a mile away, and I think everyone did. So if anyone's offended of this in any way, it's like, well, this has literally been going on for the better part of a month and a half. So I feel like everyone saw this coming, and this is what we got. Although they did throw a curveball when they said, hey, maybe the winner of the match will face Daniel Bryan on night 2. And I'm like, oh, is that going to happen? And then obviously it didn't. But triple threat, yeah, I saw this coming. I think we all did. And I don't mind it because it was predictable. And I don't think the match will be that bad either.
No, I think it'll be a pretty good match. Neeson, how you feeling?
I think WWE flew too close to the sun and they got burned, and there was no way they could turn back. I think Daniel Bryan probably wasn't in their plans, and once they started that train, they couldn't stop it. I think it was no way to look back. We hear reports about how Vince isn't high on Edge and how he looks and et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's too true to that. I do think it is a thing of like, we need something more, and we need something more if it can be more. And I think it just made too much sense to have Daniel Bryan in there. Now I feel like it also could have been KO in there, just with that steam. But I think it's perfect, which we'll get to, is that KO, Sami Zayn in a solo match at Mania makes all of us on this internet and watching this just fucking jump for joy. To watch them go solo matches at WrestleMania, and they've been wrestling each other for almost 20 years.
Yep.
It's incredible. So I think Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman's going to kill it. It's a way for Daniel Bryan to possibly walk out with the title and Roman not get pinned. I think that's a great way to go. I think also that's a signal to go where Roman Reigns is not going to get pinned in this match.
Absolutely not.
And Edge doesn't care about winning the title. This is about the fact that he's wrestling again. And he has no problem putting over Daniel Bryan.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we could get a Daniel Bryan Edge one-on-one match down the line at whatever the pay-per-view after Mania is, and I can't remember it for some reason. Backlash.
Oh no, Extreme Rules. I'm sorry, Extreme Rules are Backlash.
It's Extreme Rules now. Yeah, it's no longer Backlash. I don't think Backlash has been a thing for nope. I don't remember when Backlash was anymore.
The only time I really remember Backlash is when Joey Styles was like, I got bumped from Backlash. That's the only thing I really remember.
The most I remember from Backlash is the set when you're playing No Mercy on N64 and they have the hooks.
Yes.
Yep. That's all I remember, guys. Backlash.
Although AJ did win his title at Backlash against Dean Ambrose, and I completely forgot about that until now. So,
but that was also when it had separate pay-per-views, which I wish they brought back so they could have more talent on the roster and possibly,
they should for sure bring that back.
Yeah, but people hated it because it was a pay-per-view every other week.
Who cares?
Well, we hated it because we were doing a show.
When SmackDown, well, yeah, that was a lot. That's a lot when you're reviewing it, but when SmackDown first, when they split the brands back again and they had separate titles on all of them, and they had like 3 women's matches that all felt like they were flushed out stories. I was like, yeah, separate pay-per-views. Let's do this all the time. And then, it didn't really go anywhere from that. Great. So for me, sure, whatever. It kind of sucks that it almost feels like, hey, what are you guys going to do with me? Daniel Bryan. It's like at Mania, it's like, nothing. It's 2 nights. You can't put me on it. But yeah, I'm interested to see on how this plans out, but I don't think Reigns walks out with the title. But I also believe, like you guys do, that he does not get pinned. Another match that Neeson mentioned that has been announced is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. We are destined to do this forever. 1-on-1 at WrestleMania. This is going to be awesome. I'm very excited. It's an easy story to set up too. It's super easy. They just set it up. We're done here. We're going to WrestleMania. Easy. These guys have been fighting forever, as I said. Should be a banger of a match. But how do we feel about Logan Paul somehow being involved in either this storyline? They said he was going to. Rumors are he's going to be at Mania and be involved in this match somehow. Listen, I don't know what the kids are talking about, so I had to ask my friends, who the fuck is Logan Paul? Because I had no idea. I feel like I still don't. Yeah. How are we feeling about Logan Paul? And just let's go with how are we feeling about Zayn, Owens, and then how do you feel about Logan Paul and whatever he brings to the table, which I'm still not completely sure what it is.
Logan Paul. He's done some questionable things in the past, and he's also I feel like Logan Paul has the Kim Kardashian syndrome outside of the questionable things he does in the past. Like, people hate him because he's in a situation, like he's in a higher status situation. Because you look at it, besides the questionable things he does, all he does is normal, just I want my shit to go viral shit. Or that's all he does, which could be considered annoying. Him and his brother, he's a boxer now. He's a celebrity boxer. Well, yeah, he has. I mean, he has the fight coming up with Floyd, right? And so, it's gonna be big for WWE to get somebody like Logan Paul, because no matter what people says, Logan Paul has an audience, and he has an engaged audience, and he's able to bring eyes to things. So it's a smart move by WWE. It's a smart move to have him on WrestleMania on Sunday on your big night, because that's the Roman Reigns night. So it's smart. And I think on the business side, absolutely great. Kudos to them. On a personal side, I could give 2 F snuffs about Logan Paul. And I'm just there to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn do the thing after 20 years.
I mean, dude has, from what I can see, Jimmy, before we get to you, he has 24 million followers between Instagram and Twitter. So now also, we know why.
His YouTube, and then his engagements, like his engagement numbers are out of this world, bro. Like literally out of this world. So one thing from him could go viral like that, and he's a cash cow. He's 300. Like, just I know it's a lot of money just to be associated with Logan Paul. Just know that.
I'm scrolling through his his YouTube views right now, and
Right.
all right, I guess I get it.
I don't think I get it. I understand it, but I don't get it. So first of all, when it comes to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, in my opinion, two things need to happen. Number one, have Logan Paul involved until WrestleMania. I get you want the views and everything, and he'll bring in people, and I understand that, but I would hate for someone like him to water down this match because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens by themselves, we already know it's going to be a great match. The second thing that needs to happen is that Kevin Owens needs to do a spot off of the pirate ship because this has been teased for over a year now, and it just needs to happen. And I feel like him getting a match at WrestleMania is great as it is, but the fact that it's with Sami, that for me, that pretty much confirms that there's going to be some sort of pirate ship spot, because especially if you watch the WrestleMania 24 from last year, he extensively talks about it, and I'm hoping that we get to see that, whatever it is. And I'm also hoping that whenever the spot does happen, without any explanation from the commentators, we just see Kairi Sane pop up and just like, and then that's it. We don't see it, no explanation or anything else.
That's all we need. That's all we need, guys.
That's all we need. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it, but you know what I want to see from that match? I want to see Sami do the buckle brainbuster.
The brainbuster.
I need to see that.
I mean, we see that. I feel like we also need to see the Steenalizer, but I don't think they'd ever get away with that in WWE.
Oh no, I think guys, honestly, I think we're gonna see all of those. I think they're gonna go balls to the wall. How John Cena and CM Punk were pulling out pile drivers. On that Monday Night Raw, the last time they were supposed to ever face each other, and they were just pulling out everything, and it was like, yo, we're going for it. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing this. We're doing that. I think we're gonna get every single thing they have in their pocket, because this is literally the last thing. Like, they could retire after this. Like, truly retire.
I think the thing about that, comparing it to Punk and Cena, is that's John Cena and at the time one of your biggest stars, CM Punk, and they could have done 20 pile drivers, and what were they going to do? Fire them?
He's gonna fire. They're gonna fire Kevin Owens. If he fires Kevin Owens, Owens is walking into AEW a god.
I mean, I get it. At this point, like, if they fire anyone, they're like, well, they're going to another place to maybe be a bigger star. Oh, well.
Yeah, but Kevin Owens in AEW.
My God.
Mount Rushmore.
In AEW.
Kevin Steen. Mount Rushmore is one head away after that point.
Well, depending on which version.
Well, no, you'd still be down.
You
don't have Roddy, you don't have Dragon, you don't have Cole.
Well, I was talking about just one head is the one.
Yeah. Well.
All right. We're going to talk about this the 50 greatest women superstars that WWE put out. It's a streaming show thing on Peacock, and boy, this list is it's certainly a list. How do we want WWE specified that they only went back to 1993 when constructing the list, and I'll let you connect the dots on why they did that, which sucks because one person pretty much ruined it for everyone from the 80s and earlier on. There are a lot of, women's wrestlers from that time that probably should have been recognized on this list, but could not be because, allegations and such. Neeson and I talked about this earlier. Do you just want to do the top 10?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so here's the top 10. You guys can just search the list online or watch the show. It is, for me, it's kind of like, what? But when you hear the rules, it makes a little more sense. Is this on Freecock or subscribers only?
I've never heard Free Peacock called that before, but sure.
Nope, you got to say it how the comment has said it, Jimmy. It's Freecock.
Freecock.
Or subscribers only.
So
and yes,
FYI, anything WWE based, you have to pay for. Is the way it works.
Facts.
There is no free Peacock for WWE fans. It does not include WWE. So,
but if you already, were subscribed to the award-winning WWE network, then you're basically paying the same price for
unlimited.
Unlimited. You get everything else that's on there. So
yeah, so it's technically free cut.
Yeah, what you said. So here's the top 10. Number 10 is Bayley. Number 9 is Ronda Rousey. Number 8 is Lita. Number 7 is Alundra Blaze. Number 6 is Sasha Banks. Number 5 is Asuka. Number 4 is Chyna. Number 3 is Becky Lynch. Number 2 is Charlotte Flair. And number 1 is Trish Stratus. If you want the whole list, like I said, either watch that show or just Google it. You can find it pretty easily. How do we feel about this top 10?
I want to toss that question back to you, Pingle. Who out of this top 10 would you absolutely toss in the garbage like Medusa did the belt?
I mean, you and I talked about this a little earlier today.
It was a setup.
And I mean, I would bump. I don't care if I was to look at this list and we're talking about, well, so and so did this. Well, Becky Lynch made that main event at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch was one of the most talked about wrestlers in WWE / the world. Yes, I would definitely bump Charlotte out of number 2 for sure. She could sit at 3, and I think I'd be okay with that. But Becky Lynch was the most talked after she got her nose busted open. She was the most talked about wrestler for months. So Ronda, I would also probably bump down just because, I mean, she sits in an okay spot if we think about it. She was also like, when she came in, there was a lot of hype. I mean, she was basically Brock Lesnar of the women's division, I feel.
Except she worked more dates.
Yes. I don't know. Like, looking at the list, the rest of the list is very questionable. We don't have time to go through the whole thing. I think one thing I just want to point out is the Bella Twins as 1 ranking is absolutely insane. I think it is. I think Nikki Bella had a better career than Brie Bella.
I think even the graphic they used for the Bella Twins was actually just 2 Brees.
No, it wasn't.
I think, okay, so my thoughts on the list in general, and I get to the Brie Bella thing, but I wanted to bring up what you said was about how did Steph not make top 10?
Stephanie should have been number 1.
Actually, that's actually a good point. She actually should have been somewhere on that list. Was she on the list at all?
No. Yes, she's 23.
Okay, good. Okay, I mean, I think she should have been. She should have been on the list. What is that?
But that's both Brie.
Is it both Brie?
No, because the flannel. I don't know. Who cares?
But Brie
you said about Ronda. The issue.
It's literally the same top, same. You could even see the flannel on both.
My God.
It's from the same shoot.
Okay, so the issue with Ronda Rousey, I honestly would have Ronda Rousey up higher, and it's because of the year that she brought in. That year she brought WWE's women division up. Yes, we had Becky Lynch from Survivor Series on that the man character really for SummerSlam on, but Survivor Series when she had the nose bleeding. It really took hold and it really gathered steam. And it really made the people turn around, a la Daniel Bryan sort of thing. It was just a natural groundswell from it. But outside of the business, it still was a thing of like, oh, who is that? We know Ronda Rousey, but who's that Becky Lynch? And I think at times, and to their fault and to our fault, at times as wrestling fans, we think everybody should know this. And then outside, WWE is like, wait, we need to get somebody that everybody does know, right?
So why
And
isn't
then
Snooki on the list then?
Well, Snooki never held a title. She never main evented anything. And being that it was the first women's main event of WrestleMania, I have no problem with Ronda Rousey being on there. And this sounds weird, and I know that it's to us our show, but Charlotte, I was honestly surprised they didn't have Charlotte at number one, being the fact that she won the title so many times. I was literally surprised, but to have Bayley so low really shocked me, because Bayley also holds, like, Bayley, she's only not, like, during the time she had the title over a 2-year span, she only didn't have the title for 5 days or some crazy number like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's an insane amount of time that she carried a division, both divisions. Like, it's an insane amount of time. And for Bayley to, and we're talking about carrying the division through a pandemic, putting money behind it, still making it number one. Like, I understand that we can't continue to talk about comparing present women to the past, right? Like, because it's hard to do that. It was different styles. That's why Trish Stratus is number one, because during a time where women were not the main event, Trish Stratus was that chick, right? So it's no argument there why she's that number one. But it just surprised me that Bayley was number 10, and everybody else I think fall into play. I think if anything, I'll probably move Ronda up, because she did something that no other woman had the chance or opportunity to do, because of what she did outside of WWE and what she brought into WWE.
How far would you move her up?
I don't know, man. I would have to see the list again to see what names I will move up and down, because I wouldn't want to move, honestly, because Sasha, as much as, look, we know the boss, the blueprint, the standard, the gold, the phenom, all the things right here. We know what she is, but she hasn't been held to the same as like a Charlotte. She hasn't been held to the same as like a Becky during the last, like, everybody's now talking about when is Becky coming back. Becky could come on right now and she'll be headline sports ticker on ESPN. Right? Like,
yeah.
So we don't know. Like, so I don't know who I will move down, who I will move up, because that's such a hard thing, but I do feel like she should be higher.
All right, so I guess, sorry, Jimmy, we will get to you in a second. Would you move Ronda Rousey above Sasha Banks?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Jimmy, what?
I mean, the sad thing is that I agree with him. Like, the thing is, you can argue Ronda has not been in the business nearly as much as any of the other women listed in the top 10. But the thing is, she had that 1 year. She had that 1 year where she brought all this business and all these eyes to WWE. Bro. But people forget, like, think about what she did for WWE before she even got there. And I'm talking even before she did that whole thing with The Rock at WrestleMania. Like, when we got 3 out of the 4 horsewomen first introduced on Raw, who's the main name that Stephanie mentioned? Ronda Rousey. That probably, bring all 3 of those women up at the same time probably wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Ronda. So Ronda already had an influence before she was even with the company. So
Serena Williams, Ronda Rousey, and I forgot the other girl she named, but yeah.
So I would probably move her to maybe spot number 3, but that's merely because of what she's done for women as a whole and not just WWE.
Pingo was about to.
I mean,
I'm just working with reality and what's.
Well, I mean, if we're working
agree
with reality with Ronda Rousey, she's said some horribly questionable fucking things as well. So.
Oh no, I agree.
I mean,
that's why, I think it's hilarious that she's on a list like this, and we're also about to step into a WrestleMania where not only is Logan Paul being involved, but Hulk Hogan is hosting with Titus O'Neil. This is where we are right now.
Okay, guys, look, man, as much I hate Hulk Hogan. You know it. I hate it. Not because of what he said. That is not why I hate him. Why do I hate him, guys? Why? because he refused to acknowledge what he said and actually take ownership and accountability for what he said.
Yes.
Right? Two different things. I could understand you saying something that is hurtful and makes no sense. Now, if you believe something is different, like if you're an opposite side supporter of whatever politic or belief or whatever, I can't hate you or be upset about you about that. That's just whatever. Logan Paul, he did some questionable things, but he's also like really tried to like make amends for it. And I'm just not about holding people accountable. I mean, holding people for what they've done in the past, because we all do dumb shit. And I'm sure if somebody went back in the time machine back in like 2000, I probably did some crazy shit in the past too, and said some crazy things when I was playing the first Modern Warfare or some shit. I don't know. But all I'm saying is Logan Paul, and Ronda Rousey, they all will bring eyes to the product. And they're all stars, and they're all gonna bring ratings. And I can't be mad at WWE for making those sort of moves, as long as they don't. I mean, Ray Lewis killed a man, guys. Do we understand this? Ray Lewis killed a man, and he still had his job.
And he's got a fucking statue.
And he has a statue, Ray. If we
and he's
ever
in the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame, if we ever question anything, just remember Ray Lewis killed a man. That's all I just.
I didn't have that in my 2021 bingo card. I'm surprised that was a square. Okay.
All right, let's move on to the some of the Hall of Fame announcements that WWE's made this past week and beyond this week, because I feel like we've just had special event after special event, and we really haven't gotten to catch up on any regular news. So WWE announced, let's see, it's Eric Bischoff, Kane, the Great Khali, and Molly Holly, with the rumor that Rob Van Dam will be announced very soon. If you listen to Sabu and what Sabu has to say.
Or Paul Heyman.
Or Paul Heyman, yes. How do you guys feel about the class of 2021 so far?
I think it's. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I mean, I don't know. It just feels weird because of, the fact that we're in a pandemic and everything. And I believe that they're trying to combine the class of this year with the class of last year. Yeah. Hence why Batista had to announce what he did. I don't know. The Hall of Fame just doesn't feel like, congratulations to people getting inducted, but for whatever reason, and I'm sure the pandemic has something to do with it, but like, it doesn't feel special this year. I just feel like, oh, these are names now and they're being inducted. Like, I feel like it's weird that like we haven't heard anything about the 2020 noms aside from Batista. So we haven't heard about Bulldog. We haven't heard about Liger. So I'm like, I'm kind of waiting here on those, where it makes it probably actually feel a little bit more special. But right now I'm like, congrats to these people, but what else is going on? And like, how are they going to do this event? Like, I'm assuming it's just WWE staff and whatnot, and it'll still be aired, but it feels a little bit weird.
They should do it like they did with the Slammies. Do you remember when the Slammies was like a dinner party?
Yeah,
they should do that.
That'd be cool. But then also they have to like, I feel like that's more, I don't know, like the COVID thing, because it's super pre-taped now. Like they taped it, I think this week or something like that, and it's gonna air Tuesday of Mania week. So I don't know, it does feel weird, but also I'm just happy that JBL finally gets into the Hall of Fame. I was kind of sad that Batista's not gonna get in. Kane deserves it, of course. Eric Bischoff. I'm glad that Eric Bischoff went solo instead of with NWO.
Yes.
And I think now we're getting to this point with the Hall of Fame is that everybody's like, what about this person? What about this person? It's like, yeah, all these people are going to get in eventually. They just have to like wait it out. And for Molly Holly getting in, of course, it's overdue. But of course, they only do like one female a year. So it's a weird conundrum thing that we're in.
Yeah.
And my last thing that I'm going to say is that I wish they had the short hair Molly Holly picture as her picture. But hey.
Agreed.
I do have one question, and this might just be me just being ridiculous. Do you think having the Great Khali inducted is a heavy shot at Paul White?
I don't even think I thought of that, but I don't know.
The largest athlete.
I mean, it could be, but also we got that story from Paul White himself that said like Vince congratulated him on signing with AEW. So I feel like it'd be really messed up for Vince to congratulate him for signing with AEW, but then
it is Vince McMahon,
like the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like they're just saving the Big Show. I could see him
as a businessman.
Yeah.
He's a businessman, so he's
man. What if he had signed with AEW and then they inducted him into the Hall of Fame the same week? Because AEW would let him go. They'd let him. They'd be like, "Yeah, go for it."
I think honestly that's what I thought was going to happen with Christian, but I think they would probably turn it down, Big Show and Christian, if they got offered right now, because they know it would always be there. That chance and that opportunity will always be there. And I think somebody like Batista, like he knew, like, yeah, I'm done with this. So, I would say yes. That's why you don't see The Rock agreeing. That's why you don't see Chris Jericho agreeing. That's why you don't see these people like actually be like, yeah, because they're not done. But once they're done, please believe Chris Jericho will headline a WWE Hall of Fame Mania week for sure.
All right, last topic we have, guys, is Impact Wrestling has announced that they are moving to Thursday nights. I believe it's within the next it's in 2 weeks. They're moving to Thursday. I could not find this graphic. I saw it circulating a little earlier in the week. But if you look at the rumors of NXT moving to Tuesday, this is what our week as wrestling fans looks like now. Monday is Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW and MLW, if you watch MLW before AEW anyway. Thursday, now that I think about it, is NXT UK, New Japan on Roku, and Impact Wrestling. Friday is SmackDown, New Japan Strong, and Ring of Honor. Which I'm going to start watching again because the 19th and 205 Live on Fridays as well. My bad. I forgot about the greatest 1 hour of television. I apologize. I sincerely apologize to Kurt.
More like 35 minutes, but sure.
That's right. It is. It's so good. It's not even an hour. They don't even have to.
That's why it's the greatest 1 hour, guys.
So my question to you guys is, and I saw this on Twitter, is there any such thing as a casual wrestling fan anymore with all the wrestling and storylines we have to keep up with? I know not everyone is as insane as me, staying up till 2 a.m. being like, but All Japan just had a show last night and I have to watch it. Do you think being a wrestling fan, you can't be like, yeah, I casually watch it? Is there any such thing as that?
Yeah, I think it is. I think WWE makes that pretty easy for you because you could pick whatever show you could pop in and out. They have a lot of content, and plus you can just pop on the network and watch whenever you want to watch, sort of thing. So I believe it still can be. I think AEW is starting to move towards that with things like Rose to the Top and other things where you in the YouTube where you'll be able to catch little snippets and pop in and out whenever you like. Their storylines aren't convoluted too much. They're pretty much, you could just pop in and it just, you get everything about it. So I think there is, but I just think that there's more variety for us wrestling fans. There's different flavors of the ice cream. There's different candies in the candy bowl. Like we have it all now. I think if you like if you like MLW, if you like ROH, if you like New Japan Pro Wrestling, you can watch all these things in a dedicated time and not feel like you're overwhelmed. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Jimmy.
So even before this crazy schedule, I would get asked like, oh, you don't watch this show? You don't watch that show? This is a very popular show. Like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm a wrestling fan. I don't have time to watch regular TV. I have 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours of like yada, yada, yada. So like
6 hours of Falcon Winter Soldier.
I mean, so basically like there can be casual fans. And I would say those casual fans are probably just like, you're just AEW or you're just Raw and SmackDown, and you're not even watching NXT. So I do believe casual fans exist, but there is so much wrestling now that the term casual fan is used very loosely and it's probably very minimal.
Wipeout.
I mean, why not start John Cena now? So
yeah, no, but like that, like it's to the point. Like that's what you said. Like TV, right? Like you can't watch other TV. The TV we watch now, it has a wrestling something in it. I just feel like.
I mean, Go Big Show could have been added to that, but it just ended. So like,
all right, well, let's not push it too far, guys. We did you watch that show? Did you really watch that show?
Oh, no,
yeah, exactly. Only reason I watched that show was Rosario Dawson.
I was praying for the end of it, so that way Cody stops coming out to the Snoop Dogg version of his song and goes back to the regular version of his song.
Yes, y'all. Cody Rhodes, y'all.
I guess my other question to you guys is, since Impact has moved to Thursdays, will you watch it?
I mean, I was already watching, but it's one of those like, yeah, I'm watching, but I'm watching because it's just on and I'm not really paying attention kind of thing. I kind of have an issue with Impact is hard for me because I feel like every time I'm watching, I feel like Stryker and D'Lo are just trying to sell me that the match, whatever match you're commentating at that moment, has the best wrestling and the best wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
So like, and don't get me wrong, like that, your job is to sell the product. So I understand that, but it shouldn't apply to every match. And like when they're telling me like, these are the greatest athletes, like they have the greatest mentality, like I don't. But okay, fine. If you say that for this one match, great. But you're saying literally the same thing this following match. So I feel with the move to Thursday, because it's after Dynamite, it's after NXT, I'm probably going to be less inclined to watch it because it's towards the end of the week and I've already gotten my fill of all these other shows. As opposed to it being on Tuesday. Oh, it's still early in the week. I've only watched Raw. I'm going to go ahead and watch this.
Neeson? No?
Thursdays are tough for me, man. Like honestly, I do the show every Thursdays, and then plus, the only thing I'm watching Thursdays, honestly, I'm staying up to midnight to watch whatever Disney Plus has the fucking hooks on in my ribs. So therefore, I won't get to Impact until how many weeks do we have in between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki? That's how much I will watch Impact, and then right when Loki comes, I will. After it ends, I'll watch Impact.
About a month, so
exactly. So we got a hot 4 weeks. Make it happen, guys. Because after that, because the weekend I have to catch up on. I probably didn't watch AEW live, so I got to catch up on that. Then I have to catch up on all my other shows. I got to watch The Office 15 times again. Like, there's a lot of things I got to watch, guys. Plus, play Call of Duty.
I'm literally the exact opposite of both of you, where I have not watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet. Because I'm watching too much wrestling / taking care of this little pup that you cannot see that is sleeping in my lap.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is I know we haven't talked about it, and I don't think I ever told Jimmy, but it is that last episode. It's such a great show, man. It's such.
I know it's gonna be great. I just apparently had to watch Dragon Gate or some shit.
I thought you were gonna say WandaVision at least, but yeah.
No, I finished WandaVision. But
okay, good.
Goodness. All right, let's. Do we have anything else we want to talk about before we get on out of here?
Guys, it was another smack that was heard around the world this past week on Friday, and also came with a code breaker. And I also want to say Bianca has the second best theme song ever made in WWE, next to, of course, the Boston Blueprint, the Standard, to go to Phenom, Sasha Banks.
You said code breaker. I think you mean backstabber, but
yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Also, she did add another nuance to her name, so she's not just the Blueprint, the Standard, the Boss, the Boba Fett, DDT, Mandalorian. She also said Hall of Famer. So we're going to add that to the list. So basically, Neeson, you need to record.
Got to re-record. Yeah, got to re-record.
Well, look, I will be happy to re-record it. You know what? Let's just do it right now. The Boss, the Blueprint, the Standard, the GOAT, the DDT, and Boba Fett, the Hall of Famer, Sasha Banks.
There you go. There you go. And yes, Mike, this is what I'm waiting for. Gotta love those West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Well, that's been our show for this week. You can find us on Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News. Instagram.com/THS.wrestling. Shout out to the Wrestling Classic, Justin, who helps us out with a lot of stuff over there. And apparently I've kind of sort of not really figured out how to edit videos on my computer. So I'm going to be trying to do follow suit with Neeson here, and I'm going to try and do AEW in 30 seconds or less, even though it took me 18 hours to make a 30-second video. But I'm going to do it. So it's a lot of fun, and we're going to keep those up. And I think Flobo is going to be doing 30 seconds or less for NXT UK.
He has NXT UK. Yes. Of course I picked the hard one, a 3-hour show. Like 3 hours, guys. 3 hours.
But also I would just like to point out, you give us an entire recap of a 3-hour show in 30 seconds or less. So Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen.
And also energy to Road Dogg, man. Healing energy to Road Dogg.
Yes, please. Ugh. I'm furiously checking Twitter for any updates on that, but yeah, man. Ugh, rough. Can you throw up our socials?
Absolutely.
Boop. There they are. There's our socials right there. Where else can you find us? Twitch.tv/that#show, YouTube.com/that#show TV, and most importantly, guys, that#show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys next week.
For the boss, the blueprint, the standard, the GOAT, the queen of the cell, the draw, the DDT, and Boba Fett, Mandalorian.
Hall of Famer, Sasha. Thanks.